Hello everyone, my name is SurrealBeliefs and I want to do a little Q&A where I'm not going to speculate, but we're going to write to Total War Warhammer, their website, to actually find out the answers about Total War Warhammer 2. I'm sure as many of you do know, and if you don't know, Total War Warhammer 2 has been announced and it will feature a lot of new races. And I'm going to go down here. Here we have the cinematic trailer, which I will have linked down below. And it's a little introduction here just saying that they're going to be as transparent as they can. Members of the community, press, YouTubers like me will have access to the game prior to launch. Let's go down over here. What is Total War Warhammer 2? And I will go ahead and read that, and you can read ahead if you would like. The second in the trilogy and sequel to the award-winning Total War Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 2 brings players a breathtaking new narrative campaign set across the vast continents of Lustria, Ulthuan, Nagaroth, and the Southlands. The Great Vortex campaign builds pace to culminate in a definitive and climactic endgame, an experience unlike any other Total War title to date. How many races or lords can we expect? There are 4 playable races each with 2 legendary lords for a total of 8 individual start positions in the game. You have High Elves, Dark Elves, Lizardmen, and a 4th race, which we know to be Skaven. It's a joke that they're a mythological race that has never been found out about directly, but it will be Skaven. Alright, let's go on. Each race is unique and will feel very different to play. Each has unique and iconic battlefield units, characters, monsters, war machines, and tactical strengths on the battlefield. In campaign, each has its own suite of unique campaign mechanics built around its backstory and lore in Warhammer Fantasy battles. In short, each race offers a very distinct way to play. What's with the Vortex in the announcement trailer? The Great Vortex is a vast magical maelstrom that roils above the Isle of the Dead in the center of Ulthuan, home continent of the High Elves. The Vortex was forged in a past age by a convocation of High Elf mages to drain the winds of magic from the world and blast a huge demonic invasion back to the realm of chaos from whence it came. It is a prominent part of the Warhammer Fantasy Battles world, a unique feature on the Total War Warhammer 2 campaign map, and lies at the heart of the main campaign. Let's go on. How is Total War Warhammer 2's campaign different to the first game? As a twin-tailed comet Sotek made its recent journey across the skies, it caused the vortex to become dangerously unstable. Each of the 4 races has its own objective regarding this. Some wish to heal the Great Vortex and prevent calamity, others see opportunity in disrupting it. That said, no 2 races have precisely the same objectives, and they'll need to accomplish them in their own way. The campaign is therefore a race for control of the vortex, culminating in a cataclysmic series of in-game events. This is the first TW game where the AI can beat you to the in-game objective. But the race for the vortex isn't the be-all and end-all. You will still have to build and manage your empire, treat with and betray your allies, research techs, and development settlements. All the usual Total War good stuff, with unique race mechanics and objectives defining the specifics of your campaign. You still need to further your aims, but there will also be greater focus on confounding or supporting the other races and theirs. How big is the Total War Warhammer 2 campaign map? The Vortex campaign map is roughly the same physical size as in the first game, though there are approximately a third more conquerable land regions in the Warhammer 2 campaign map than in Warhammer 1. These are spread across 4 continents separated by perilous seas. What other new features can I expect? There's a host of new gameplay features, some of which are tied to the specific narrative of the Vortex campaign, and some which will apply the huge combined campaign, see below. We'll be detailing all of these over the coming months. Do I need the original game to play Total War Warhammer 2? No, you don't need the first game in the trilogy in order to play Total War Warhammer 2. However, if you do own the first game as well as the Warhammer 2, you'll be able to choose to play on a huge new combined campaign map, see below, so owners of both games will have 3 large and different campaign maps to choose from. The trilogy. What do I get if I own both Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2? If you own both games and you get 3 huge campaign maps, the original one featuring the old world, a new one featuring the new world and the vortex, and a combined campaign map featuring both of these areas joined together. If you own any DLC or free DLC for Warhammer 1 like the Chaos Warriors, Wood Elves, Beastmen, or Lord packs, you'll also still have access to their unique narrative campaigns, of course, and will be able to play as those races in both the old world campaign and the new combined campaign. There's a lot to read. I'm getting all tongue-tied now. Let's go on. What's going on with the mega combined campaign you talked about before? For both owners of both Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, our first content release shortly after launch, free of course, will be a vast combined campaign map representing the geographical areas of both games in a single map. This will allow you to start epic campaigns as any owned race, including any DLC races you own. This will be shortly after launch, weeks, not months, and will be our very first content release. Why won't the campaign or the combined campaign be available right at launch. The Vortex campaign, with its dedicated narrative, unique features, mechanics, and flavor, is a big project in its own right. The combined campaign will be truly vast. Each requires significant playtesting and balancing. This being the most complex Total War campaign we will have released to date, we have to plan a short period of open beta testing just before we release it. This requires Warhammer 2 to be out and for players to be familiar with all the new races and features. How will the third game add to this? We will let you know in due course. Other stuff. Is naval combat happening? Only an auto-resolve. Warhammer Fantasy Battles is principally a game about land warfare, so that's where we're choosing to focus our efforts in terms of full battle simulation. There are some new sea-related campaign features that we will detail in the future. What are your plans for multiplayer? Here's a very important part. Each of the races in Total War Warhammer 2 will be playable in single and multiplayer campaign, plus custom and multiplayer battles. As the 2 legendary lords for each race all have their own unique campaign start positions, you'll be able to play a 2-player co-op campaign, the same race. If you own both parts 1 and 2, you'll be able to play in multiplayer as any of the races you own. What will the early adopters bonus or collector's edition be? They will let us know. It'll be later in 2017. Will there be modding support? As with Warhammer 1, modding will be supported shortly after launch. And that's really what we have. So, that's really it. I was really hoping that there would be naval battles, but I am glad that they will at least have features. I will say that if you're not going to have direct battle simulations, any type of complexity on a campaign map is a good thing. What I'm really hoping, and you can tell me what you want down below too, like give me your own wish list. What I'm personally hoping is for a more detailed campaign map, okay? I enjoy epic battles, but I want to have more reason to focus on a campaign map. I usually, when I play my campaigns, and if you're a fan, you know this, I get into a routine of what I know to build everywhere I go, and then after that, there is no challenge. Trade has no complexity yet. There's really not much to it, so I want more to that. I want more to the overall dynamics of the campaign map, and I do hope they focus a lot on that in some manner and format, especially with the introduction of naval battles in the form of auto-resolving them and other mechanics that they want to have, added in. But here's what we have right now. If you have any further questions, ask them down below and make sure that you prompt them. Ask them, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, it's funny, a lot of people I guess didn't know that they were going to have 3 games, but they did make that very clear. And it is a huge undertaking, and I believe that. I've had a lot of fun in Total War Warhammer. It's been a good launch. It's had a lot of good content. I am hoping that any DLC will be a lot more focused though, in terms of overall design. The overall design of DLC in Warhammer 1 was kind of all over the map. Each one had its own thing going on, and I think they were really trying to figure things out. I'm hoping that by now they have figured things out, that they know what we want, and that we won't have this like disparity in quality of DLC, and maybe thematically they'll be more alike. And that is what I'm really hoping for. But again, I haven't gone to bed. I stayed up to watch the overall release and all that. I'm very tired now, so I am going to bed. Make sure that you check out my channel. There's a lot of Warhammer content. If you want like lore videos, if you want me to overall extrapolate more information, let me know down below. And again, your feedback is great. Give feedback to me, to them, to whoever. And thank you for watching. And as always, until then.